getting those air miles. I mean, one thing that interests me about Joksan is the fact that he kind of took himself out the race a little bit. He got so many points early doors, in the year, and he I think he's in his year of university still studying, so he didn't want too much stress, and he just kind of calmed down a little bit, waited for the big tournaments, the eChampions League, for example, made sure he qualified for that. We saw his tweet earlier when he said how buzzing he was to be here and how important this was a tournament for him. So I thought it was a bit risky strategy at first, not going to lie. Take yourself out of the opportunity to play in all these events. Someone like Tex is playing week in, week out in. But he's come back and he does look strong. He's impressed me so far. The game is just getting ready now, so we're going to see Joksan versus tuga shortly. So I'm gonna just to go opposite you. I'll say tuga. You're saying Joksan.
Of course you do.
We'll see what happens. So we've got obviously, interestingly, we've got Joksan wearing the Ajax kit as he's been wearing so far this tournament, I believe, and we've got tuga in the white strip here, going from right to left. So it is Joksan on the ball now. Maldini, Vieira over to Ramos, who is just a right back now, as the guys were talking about earlier. Everyone's using him at right back.
We even see Ruud Gullit as a fullback now, being introduced to stop those crosses and to really interrupt the meta.
Virgil van Dijk, massive goal he scored earlier today. Marcelo getting forward from left back. Still using Marcelo though. Interesting, I say some people using Ruud Gullit. Marcelo is susceptible at that back post.
We see adjustments based on sometimes knowing those matchups. Does your opposition look for those back post crosses? Is he someone trying to score down the middle?
There we go then, Joksan getting forward here with Ronaldo into Eusebio. Oh, there's an opening there. Oh, it's going to be a goal, surely! Oh, I wasn't sure if he was going to miss that yet. He didn't time it perfectly, but it has nestled in the top left corner for Joksan. Playing for complexity now, of course. Look at this for a finish. I mean, it's actually perfect, Mike.
A bit of some good fortune potentially with that bounce, but he knows what to do with it, takes his opportunity well. Top corner, the best corner, there's nothing you can do about it. Goalkeeper watches it.
طلعوا بريك وادي المباراة استرجع.
An early start here in the first leg. Prime icon
دي كده بداية الجولة الثالثة اهي. وانت داخل على الهدف. وفي الجولة الثانية الأخبار جات لنا إن مساعد كسب 5-0.
And if we're going to see that, Joksan's got to be up there as one of the favorites.
وياسر كسبت 3-2 يبقى كده مساعد كسبان جولتين وياسر كسبان جولة.
You never know what's going to happen. It's the first of its kind, and we haven't seen the Swiss stage this year where it's been you need 4 wins. We haven't seen any of these 4 victories in order to advance.
Oof. Good tackle there.
So this is the kind of reintroduction of that way of getting to that advancement. And like I said, so much on the line. I feel like there's more pressure with this event than some of the past events.
Oh, definitely. I mean, just that music alone that kicks in at the start of every segment gets you going, gets your blood boiling. I think maybe the reason that Joksan's wearing this Ajax kit here is in a tribute to how well Ajax are doing in the traditional Champions League.
الله ربنا يسهل ويكمل ال7 جولات كلهم ويكسبهم كلهم عشان يبقى من الحبة اللي في الأول.
Champions League was 1995 with that unbelievable Ajax team, the likes of Clarence Seedorf, Edgar Davids, Patrick Kluivert, I think, was in there, Mark Overmars. Such a good team, De Boer. And the team now seems just as good.
I'd like to see an icon card for Davids. That
would
be nice with the goggles.
I used to love Edgar Davids in centre midfield. What a player. Anyway, it's Marcelo on the ball, another great player. Into Vieira for Joksan here, Maldini now. Back into Ruud Gullit, another Ajax legend.
And we're seeing a very patient build up here from Joksan, trying to set the pace of the match. And this is even before he got that opening goal. He's controlling the possession, and he's limiting tuga in terms of his attacks.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very frustrating right now for tuga not to have the ball. Look at the passing accuracy from Joksan. He has not misplaced a pass, 100%. Hopefully not going to be the curse of the commentator now. We'll see a pass go wayward. But it's looking good from Joksan. And that's what's making it so hard for tuga to get the ball.
Very controlled, structured build-up.
Chance here, can you make it 2-0? Yet again, not a perfectly timed finish. It wasn't green, but it was good enough. Eusebio against the Portuguese man, tuga.
And tuga doesn't like it. He's going to make adjustments. I mean, Joksan looks like he's having a day in the field day. Like he's having a practice match here. He's walking it in. He's 2 for 2, 100% passing.
Why are we seeing more people use Eusebio now? Because he's been in and around most people's teams for a number of months, but today particularly it seems that most people are starting with Eusebio.
It's always a preference choice, and the more time that you have with players that have been introduced allows you to kind of build with them and figure out who's someone who you have to have in your squad. I remember when Team of the Year Mbappe was introduced, of course, for Team of the Year. A lot of people were using him as a super sub, not a starter. Yeah. After one event, that all shifted. Everybody had Team of the Year Mbappe in their starting lineup. So you just need a little more time under your belt. especially versus the best players in the world. Sometimes when you're playing in the weekend league, you're matching up against a lot of solid players, but not the same as when you're going through qualifiers and you have a pro every single game.
Yeah, it could be maybe a chemistry situation. He wants everyone on full chemistry and he's playing a narrow formation from the start. Obviously, there's ways around that, though, isn't there, with the formation changes and the custom tactics. But one thing's for sure, Tuga will not be happy right now. He's 2-0 down, and the second goal was scored by a Portuguese icon against the Portuguese himself, Tuga. So he's got some work to do here. But Joksan still with 100% of his passes landing. If he keeps doing that, Tuga won't get the ball.
I'd like a stat on how long someone's gone without misplacing a pass, because we're coming up on 30 minutes into this game. We've seen all sorts of different types of passes, actually. Long passes, short passes, through balls, driven passes, you name it. Ah, we were going to jinx him. We were going to jinx him.
He did 29 minutes, Mike. 29 minutes, 100% passing. It was good while it lasted, but it's over. But it's still very much going for Joksan in this game. 2-0 up here against Tuga and in control. Tuga not really with a genuine chance yet, Mike. What does he need to change? How is he going to get this ball?
His defense, he's sitting back too far. We're not seeing any pressure play, and it's allowing Joksan to build up very slow, very controlled, and he doesn't have to take a gamble until he gets near that final third of the pitch.
Now he gets the ball, he needs to do something with it. He needs to hold on to it, not give it straight back to Joksan. Dangerous pass there into the middle of the park. That's better. What a touch that was from R9. Over to Cristiano Ronaldo. Ruud Gullit returns the favour. 1-2 with Cristiano Ronaldo. What can he do here for Tuga? Makes his way into the box. Oh, and his touch was just too heavy.
عارف الشدة اللي تشدها دي
from the defender there.
ضيعت له كل حاجة.
Maybe, but no penalty given.
And that was our first mistake that we've seen from Joksan, where he pulled Marcelo just a tad bit out of position, and they had a lot of space for Tuga to work with him behind.
Tuga now looking a little bit better than he did in the first 20 or so minutes. Mbappe over to Neymar. Neymar turning back to Mbappe. He's going to get there before the keeper. He opted to try and chip it over the keeper. Should he have gone with a low pass behind him there, do you think?
It's tough to say because Joksan did such a wonderful job moving the goalkeeper. He really cut that angle with De Gea, and it made it where I don't know if a low pass would have got through, or obviously a pass in the air didn't work for him. As we see a counter here.
Chance for Joksan to make it 3-0. Good tackle by Rafael Varane. And now Tuga can go again. He's getting more of the ball in dangerous areas. That's a fantastic through ball here for Cristiano Ronaldo. He's made his way into the box. This time didn't overrun it. Somehow just kept it in, but couldn't find his man.
And you talked about Joksan using Marcelo, and up to this point, it's been his only weak link on the pitch.
Could he be looking at that Ruud Gullit change maybe, put it into left back and bring another midfielder in? Seen some people even use Marcelo in centre mid and just do a straight swap.
So what you're doing when you choose to use Team of the Year Marcelo is you're making an offensive versus a defensive switch. Marcelo is going to be better than any of the fullbacks as an attacker. He also has those 5-star skills. However, there are better defensive options. We talked about Ruud Gullit. Even if you want to play Ramos over there, that would be happy days. Or introducing the headliner, Alexandre.
Chance, got to be 3-0. Look at it. He waited his time there. He didn't rush it. He waited for the keeper to move. He has so much space, and he's made sure it went in. 3-0 now to Joksan, in command and in control.
If Joksan has a coach, he should be patting him on the back. The way that he was able to wait. When the keeper committed, he took the shot, lined it up. Nothing you can do about it. 3-0, and Tuga's got to start second-guessing himself at this point.
I think one thing that really stands out, or one word that stands out to me about Joksan's performance so far, is composure. Because he's not only his composure in finishing like that, where he took his time to make sure it was a goal, but also his passing and not being forced to make mistakes. You know, very, very few misplaced passes. In a game like this, with this much on the line, in this setting, shows how comfortable he is.
Absolutely, and he's been here before, and a lot of people, or maybe they're playing a little more devil's advocate, but saying because he took off that time, because he took a break, oh, does Joksan still have it? Can Joksan still win events? Is he really one of the top 5 or top 10 players in the world? And Joksan's saying, I still am.
How good does he believe he is? That's what I want to know. Does he believe he's the best? He can be the best. He's still relatively new to the scene. He's still quite a young lad. Does he feel like he just wants to represent North America and be the #1 in that regard? How good do you think he can be? You know him reasonably well.
Joksan told me he's not done winning tournaments.
Okay.
That's about as straightforward as it gets.
Vieira has gone off. Modric has been brought on, a man who knows exactly what it takes to win the Champions League, Luka Modric. What can he do in this game? Can he inspire anything in the middle of the park for Tuga, who needs some sort of inspiration because he's 3-0 down against a very good player in Joksan? It is Joksan on the ball in the black Ajax kit. Ramos to Maldini.
And I'm worried for Tuga here. Not because he hasn't been in situations where he's been able to make comebacks or face some adversity, but he's not known as an offensive, attack-minded guru. He's more of a defensive player first. In fact, he's already conceded 3.
Luka!
Oh, it's like he heard me talking.
It's
He heard me talking.
instant impact from the
لعبة
Croatian,
هالرقبة
who's
أربعة.
come on off the bench. He's luck rocketed his way through
لا
the
قبل
defence.
جول.
Look at this, not once, but twice. That
كذا
is
3-1
poetry in
حلو.
motion.
I was just
Well,
about
I'm
to
gonna
say, we
put-
haven't seen any skill moves from Tuga. We haven't had any creativity really in his build-up. Maybe a couple fake shots in the first half, but that was about it. But curse of the commentator, and he's got his lifeline, an early goal, and maybe we can see a momentum shift.
You were saying earlier that if Joksan's got a coach, they should be giving him credit and a pat on the back for his composure. Yeah, you've got to give the manager credit for that substitution. Luka Modric for Patrick Vieira. You've lost the physical powerhouse that is Patrick Vieira in the middle. You've brought on this elegant midfielder in Luka Modric who can find space. He gets at all the nooks and crannies.
And if you haven't used the Team of the Year Modric card, excellent, special,
Recommended?
spectacular. I love using them. You feel the major increase of his pace and just his explosiveness. Very balanced center mid.
And as you know, Mike, throughout the tournament, we're looking for these MasterCard moments of the matches. And, almost a great chance there. I don't know if it's going to go on to be decisive in this fixture, but I think that Luka Modric, particularly because it begins with an M, so it means I can say the Modric MasterCard moment of the match, could be the one for the instant impact off the bench. What do you think?
Well, we've still got time here. We got to see what Tuga does. Coming forward.
Oh,
Ooh.
referee. No
Ooh.
penalty? Okay. That would have been interesting. Chance to make it 3-2 for Tuga, but it's been denied.
If Tuga's able to make this comeback not just a dream, but a reality, that has to be looked at. The double lock Roqueta, Modric super sub.
The E Istanbul.
We talked about it earlier. We've been hinting it. Maybe
Someone's
they're
gonna
hearing
do it.
us.
Someone's going to do it, I'm telling you. Someone's going to do it with E. Gerrard. Tex likes E. Gerrard. Chance here. There it is. It is 3-2, and it's Mbappe. And I'm telling you, don't go to bed. This game's not over.
And some players are just slow starters. It was all Joksan in the first half. It's been all Tuga in the second half. And the big change that you've seen is what I was talking about in the first half of this matchup. Where was the pressure? He wasn't forcing the issue. He was allowing Joksan to play at Joksan's pace, to be very comfortable, to be composed, to be very confident.
He's not so composed now, is he?
Well, we're starting to see Tuga dictate the pace. What's happening, when it's happening. You're seeing a little more risk.
That's what he needed to do. You're 3-0 down. You've got to take a risk. You've got to throw the kitchen sink at it, and that is what Tuga has done. Not just the Luka Modric substitution, which clearly was pivotal, but that pressure is applying now, and he's playing with a bit more swagger going forward, which is important. Now, this is always going to be a two-legged game. Even if it stayed 3-0 to Joksan, you still say Tuga's got time. But he's made that time come through in this leg, and right now, even though he's 3-2 down, he's in control, in my opinion. Because if I'm Joksan, I'm thinking, hang on, what's going on here?
Yeah, and Tuga, he said Tuga's got time. I feel like Tuga's saying, no, it's Tuga's time.
It's Tuga time, baby.
Tuga time. Put that somewhere. Hashtag it. And I agree with you. The momentum has shifted. We'll see if Joksan's able to battle back. I talked about it before this game got underway. Both of these players are mentally strong.
Yeah. And substitutions have been key in this game. We've just seen the same substitution done by both teams. Pele has entered the field for both sides now. We'll see what Pele can do in this game. As Tuga's Pele plays the ball over to Cristiano Ronaldo. He's got João Cancelo, his Juventus teammate, returning the ball. Ronaldo plays advantage here. Cancelo returns the ball once more to Cristiano Ronaldo. Tries to cross it on his left foot. Marcelo gets a touch, but Ruud Gullit rescues it. Cancelo into Ronaldo again. Ronaldo finds Luka Modric, who surely can't get another goal contribution off the bench. Now, we haven't seen Joksan do anything going forward in this half. Is this time for him to get that fourth goal and put this game to bed? Neymar turning his way out of trouble. Poor pass intercepted by Ramos, but Neymar gets it back. Goes to Vieira. Over to Sergio Ramos. Running down the right side. Neymar with the ball now for Joksan. Vieira into Gullit. Gullit's got his back to goal. He's going to go back to Van Dijk, his Dutch compatriot. Vieira to Ramos down the line here. Cristiano Ronaldo playing on the right side for both players here. Returns it to Ramos. Van Dijk with a switch. This is the Joksan we saw in the first half, just slowing things down, Mike.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Joksan has changed the way that he's been attacking here. He's starting to control the game a little bit more. Trying to change the pace. That's what it's all about, is whoever controls the pace and wins the midfield, similar to real life, you're going to put yourself in a good position on the virtual pitch as well. We see Tuga queued for a pause. What kind of changes could we potentially see? You mentioned that both players brought on Pele. That's a terrifying substitute. Just have a 99 Pele on your bench. Come on in.
Get involved.
Yeah, let's throw you up top. See what could happen. Shake it up a little bit.
You're 3-0 up at half-time. You're obviously going to be disappointed it's now 3-2. But do you take the 3-2? If I offer you the 3-2 now, are you shaking my hand? Are we doing business?
I don't think we're doing business. 4-2. He wants one more.
He wants more. Okay,
one
interesting.
more.
He doesn't want to take the lead into the second leg.
One goal's nothing in FIFA.
Did you see that? Messi just did a backwards nutmeg. I'm not even sure if it was deliberate, but it was delightful. And it is Tuga now running through. Modric to Messi, who's coming off the bench.
يا ابني هتجيب التعادل ولا ايه نظامك؟
Returns the ball to Messi. Into Modric. Can Luka Modric make another contribution? He plays the ball to Neymar, who is dispossessed, and now Joksan can get forward, but he's in no rush. He's not going to get carried away. He's got the lead. And he switches it over.
And you mentioned Eusebio earlier, and another reason that you're seeing the inclusion of Eusebio more often is because they're using, a lot of the players are using Cristiano Ronaldo now as a right attacking mid or a left attacking mid, and the same can be said with R9, and that's for those crosses. So they can stick someone a little smaller up top, whether that's going to be a Pele, a Eusebio. We probably won't see the inclusion of Cruyff. Even a Neymar can fill that role, or a Team of the Year Mbappe. A lot of this comes down to preference, but that's why you're seeing Eusebio included more in lineups, is because people are approaching their attacking scenarios a little bit different on the virtual pitch.
Just to be more specific there, Mike, when you say it's for crosses, you mean for back post crosses from left to right, for the right side of midfielder to attack, right?
Absolutely. That's why you're seeing your left attacking mid being, like I said, an R9, and your right attacking mid potentially being a Cristiano Ronaldo, so they can look for those back post crosses, or it just puts the fear in your opponent. They have to play you honest, that could be a possibility, that could happen.
So that's a little bit of a difference, obviously, to traditional football, where if you were playing a crossing game, you'd put the big man in the middle. We're actually looking at switches, deep crosses from one flank to the other, and looking for the big man on the opposite flank. So, a couple of minutes left here for Tuga in this first leg. Can he get a late equaliser here? Neymar getting fouled by Maldini. It's going to be a free kick. Now, what does he do here, Mike? Does he whip it into the danger area, into the corridor of uncertainty?
I think he's either going to go short or he's looking for a flick on, and he is going to go take with the short option.
Messi flicking it up and heading it into the box. Van Dijk is a beast, though. It's too hard to get it past. Marcelo with the ball for Tuga. Can he create one more chance here? 40 seconds left on the clock. Modric in the box, finds space. What a player he's been. Can he get an assist? Van Dijk is ever present. And he cuts it out, and this will be the last action of this first leg. Luka Modric puts it into the box. Messi! Ooh. What a header off the post! And it's another moment of the match that begins with M. It's Messi.
This is incredible. You talk about a tale of two halves. 3 goals in the first half for Joksan, and we're saying, man, Tuga doesn't look like Tuga. Second half, Tuga time kicks in. 3-3 going into the second leg. It's anyone's game. Anything can happen. Talk about a comeback. Did I say they were mentally tough?
It's the Istanbul, Mike. I've been saying it all day. Someone's delivered. And that header, by the way, was absolute top corner from a man you don't expect it from, little Lionel Messi. That is officially going to be the MasterCard moment of the match for me. It has to be, because Modric was important in the early goal, but he also assisted that goal. Modric to Messi, what a substitution. Both subs linking up. It's everything you want for in a MasterCard moment of the match. So it's going to go to Messi for that goal, that equaliser, perfectly lining up the second leg, Mike.
I'm kind of shook watching that.
Unbelievable.
I didn't see that happening. I could see Tuga getting back into the match. To get 3 goals against Joksan to make it anybody's game in the second leg. Unbelievable. And to be fair to Messi, I actually feel that Messi in real life is great at headers.
He can hit. No, he can hit.
He just doesn't always, you know, get up there to win the header, but if he's there, he knows where to put it.
Yeah, he's not necessarily going to out-jump a defender, but if he's in space, he can head it in great areas. We've seen him score a famous header against Manchester United in the Champions League final, actually. So, yes, Messi's done very well there for Tuga. Going into his second leg now, even though it's level, Tuga's feeling so much better than Joksan, surely.
I know who's had the momentum shift. There's no doubt about that Tuga has to be saying, that's what I should have been doing.
Yeah.
And a lot of us get off to slow starts, and that's all we saw with Tuga. He just didn't look as confident. He didn't put any pressure on Joksan, and he allowed him to, like I said, play a practice game. It looked like Joksan just walking it in. 100% passing for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
That never happens.
No, you can't let your opponent do that. But my question now for Tuga is, because we often see players with different game plans, plan A, plan B, etc. He's gone into that game with one plan, clearly not worked, changed it up at half-time, bit more attacking, it's worked perfectly. Does he now start the second leg with that same mentality, or will he revert and hope he doesn't let so many goals up?
I don't want to see him revert to plan A, because plan A didn't look good. And Joksan didn't handle plan B very well. So if I'm Tuga, I would start the same way you came off the pitch and make Joksan show adjustments,
what does
show that he
Joksan
can.
do?
Yeah, exactly. Joksan needs to make adjustments. I felt like he stopped going forward with the same type of pace. Because with Tuga having additional pressure, there was more space for Joksan to get in behind, but we never saw him get in behind. We didn't see big through balls. We didn't see pass through ball. We didn't see some of those quick plays that open up and activate that space and allow your runners to be special. When you're looking at a Pele and a Neymar and a Cristiano and an R9, put them in positions to be themselves.
Yeah, definitely, and that's exactly what Tuga was able to do towards the end of the game here. And I do think that Luka Modric was the player of the game, because he came on at half-time, he changed everything, and it's not probably a substitution everyone here is going to try, taking off Patrick Vieira at half-time. In many cases, the first name on people's team sheet, Patrick Vieira's come out, he's lost that physical presence in the middle of the park, but he's gained this midfield maestro in Luka Modric, who's contributed with a goal, he's contributed with an assist, and more than that, every single time Tuga looked like he was going to score, Modric was involved. You recommended him, you're right to do so.
And we're underway.
We're back in at the second leg here, perfectly poised. 3-3 between Joksan and Tuga. We've got Joksan now in the red kit. No, he's actually in the white kit, and it is Tuga in the red, obviously the Portuguese kit. So that little red marker next to Joksan's name, ignore that, because he's in the white. He sold me a dummy there with that one. Okay.
And both these players, when you're looking at the national team side, are representing their countries, I feel like they have so much impact in terms of like people putting respect on their nation, so to speak. A lot of times we don't bring up the U.S. and being, oh, they're one of the best in the world, even though we do have Joksan who's performed fantastic this year. The same with Portugal, and they've had a bunch of players come out of the woodworks, Tuga being one of the main leaders in terms of that community.
And it is Tuga who's starting this game slightly better, to be honest. He's started the last game terribly, but he had a great chance there, saved. It could have put him 4-3 up against Joksan. Joksan getting forward now in the white strip. 3-3, but he hasn't scored since the first half of the first leg. He wasn't the same Joksan in the second half. Vieira plays the ball here to Cristiano Ronaldo. Can he deliver the cross? He doesn't try and flick it up. He just beats his man beautifully with some fantastic footwork. But it comes to Ruud Gullit, who finds Mbappe, I think it was, with the first-time chance. Great save again from De Gea. Two big saves at either end in the opening exchanges.
Clever skill move combination work from Joksan. Opens up the angle. I even think Tuga scooted the goalkeeper just a tad bit there with De Gea in order to get in the way of that shot. And this looks like it's going to be a lot more open.
Joksan's passing down to 92%. Pathetic. He was on 100% last game. I'd take 92 personally. There's Tuga getting forward here. Cristiano Ronaldo with two markers on him. And then Maldini and Marcelo. You've got no chance getting through them. Ramos. Varane. Marcelo into Gullit. Good passing here from Tuga. He's just an absolute different animal since he's changed things at half-time in the first leg. Can Marcelo deliver now? Van Dijk. It's just a ball magnet. You can't get past him. Tuga is getting the ball back at every opportunity. Joksan is like a rabbit in the headlights right now. He doesn't know what to do. He's about to get hit by a massive car. Ronaldo plays the ball to R9 Ronaldo, who finds Cancelo's continued his run from right back into Gullit. Oh, interesting choice there, Mike, with that pass.
And if I'm Joksan right now, he needs to change the pace of this game. It's been all Tuga, and he's got to be able to slow it down a little bit. He's losing possession too quickly, and it's allowing Tuga to get a lot of additional opportunities. And to be fair to Tuga, he's just being a lot more creative going forward, especially when you look at that first half of the first leg. He was looking kind of stale.
والله وانا كمان عايز مباراة
Bodies weren't
مساعد.
in the box. We didn't see skill moves.
Neymar in the box here. Van Dijk yet again coming to Joksan's rescue.
بس هو المشكلة ان هم مش هينفع يعرضوا مساعد كل الجولات. هم عرضوا اول جولة.
I'm not talking one leg to the next. We see text do that.
فلو في مباراة جامدة بقى مساعد ده بحد قوي هيعرضوها، اما غير كده ما اعتقدش.
But it is Joksan getting forward now with Ronaldo. R9 back to his namesake, Cristiano Ronaldo, who finds Patrick Vieira, who looks for Eusebio.
بالمناسبة الولد البرتغالي ده في القوات الجوية البرتغالية.
And well done. We talked about goalkeeper movement earlier in this matchup. Tuga scoots over to De Gea. It takes away all the options for Joksan. He has to still challenge him on the near post. Doesn't get a bounce back. Here's another counter attack from Tuga.
What a ball that was from Ruud Gullit to find Cristiano Ronaldo here. Three players around him. He goes back to his right back, Cancelo, who finds Vieira. Neymar now on the ball. Slightly different players being used. Great movement from Neymar, who hits it off the Neymar, you can say. That's unbelievable work from Neymar. Just a little shimmy, a little drop of the shoulder, opened up so much space.
And I wonder if Tuga regrets not going with maybe a low driven or even a power shot there, opening up his body with a finesse shot. We don't see finesse shots nearly as often after the post-patch error. And yeah, I think he'd like to have that one back.
Yeah, I mean, he did everything right there, and I do think if he just hammered that, it was going to go in past De Gea. Cristiano Ronaldo makes Hullet look a mug, then he mugs himself off and takes it off the pitch.
And we're seeing, I want to say kind of bend, but not completely broken. Usually it's bend and not break, but not completely broken defense here from Joksan. But he does need to have like a recap. He needs almost a pause to gather himself. It just doesn't seem like he's playing with any level of confidence compared to what we saw in that first leg. And you're right, I don't know if I've ever seen this leg-to-leg transition or half-to-half transition within the same leg. And it's been all Tuga for the most part in terms of just the momentum.
Joksan with a chance, Hullet with a deflected shot, and it's dribbled past De Gea, and I'm not sure that was going to go in, Mike. I think De Gea might have saved it. Look at the replay here. Hullet, it's a good work against his opposite number, but it's deflected off Varane, and I think the keeper was going to save that.
I think he was going to catch it. It's very unlucky. And I'm sure Jokson's sitting there like, yep, we'll take that.
He needed it.
I need something. Yeah, I got to put some sort of pressure on Tuga. But this match is far from over. I don't think this is going to be a 1-0 finish.
Got to feel sorry for yourself if you're Tuga, because you've come back from 3-0 down. You're playing the better FIFA. You're playing some fantastic stuff. You've had the ball cannon off the bar, and then that happens to you.
You can't start to feel sorry for yourself. If that happens, you're out of the game. He's got to stay mentally strong. He's got to stay focused. It's only one goal.
Going to get a yellow card here for Patrick Vieira. Maybe another reason for him to make that switch. Are we going to see Vieira for Modric change at half-time again? Because we know what happened last time.
I think we have to. How can you not bring in Modric?
It was the definition of a game changer, what we saw there. Modric came in, no disrespect to Vieira, but he wasn't having his best game. He wasn't affecting play. Modric came on and said, hold this, I'll take over.
I mean, Modric gives you the skill moves that Vieira doesn't have. He gives you the ability to score with both feet from outside the box, something that Vieira also doesn't have. And his turns, his agility. He's just a different type of player.
Definitely, and Mbappe plays it to Eusebio now. Tries to return it for Joksan, but Tuga gets the ball back as we come to the end of this first half and the second leg. 4-3 to Joksan, the American, against Tuga, the Portuguese. Neymar on the ball into Mbappe. Almost an interception there from Joksan, but Tuga keeps it with Cristiano Ronaldo wearing the captain's armband here. Portuguese legend, of course, scored a lot of goals, record goal scorer for Portugal. Tuga is from Portugal. And there's the half-time whistle. So 4-3 right now. Tuga in a familiar position, which is that of a losing one against Joksan. However, very different halves as to the first half and the last game. Tuga's had more possession there. He's had 61% possession. He's had better passing than Joksan at points, which definitely was not the story in the first leg. So what does Tuga need to do? Does he need to do as dramatic a change as he did last time?
It doesn't have to be as dramatic at this point. He's still got a lot of time. 45 minutes of game time. You don't have to go into all-out attack mode. You don't have to make a bunch of substitutions. I would still bring on Modric just because he showed you, hey, I'm ready to play. Sign me up, coach. Put me in the game. I want more playing time.
Just looking to see if he has bought on Modric or not. There it is. Vieira off. And Modric has been introduced. You can see him in the middle of the park there for Tuga in the red Portugal kit. I think we saw Tuga's dad there behind him as well, coaching him. Inshallah, keep it in the family if you can. Okay, Cancelo over to Varane. Plays Ruud Hullet. Let's get Modric on the ball. Give the people what they want. The little diminutive... He just pulls the strings in the middle of the park. That's what he does.
It's been said, you want to have in the middle of the pitch, you want to have your gladiator, your big body, Ruud Hullet of Vieira, and then you want to have your maestro. And in this case, that's Modric. And he's been that creative maestro every time Tuga's got him on the pitch. I'm sure that he thought about starting him going into leg two.
Maybe he likes him off the bench for that added impact against tired legs, you know? And you can see the run Modric has made here. That's, again, obviously work rates come into play when you change players. Modric may be happy to get forward and contribute, where Vieira wouldn't have. Neymar looking for Marcelo. Fix it up, puts it in the box. Ronaldo trying to make it at the back post, but Marcelo was there. It's his former Real Madrid teammate there.
You have to respect that Modric can score, that he can create, that he can utilize those skill moves. Often when Vieira gets the ball, you know that he's looking for the pass to get it out of there. He's not going to challenge you. He's not going to take you on.
Let's not forget the current Ballon d'Or holder, Luka Modric. judged and voted to be the best player in the world for 2018. Obviously getting to the World Cup final with Croatia, winning the Champions League for the 4th time in 5 years with Real Madrid. He won't be doing it again this year, though. Real Madrid have exited the competition, famously knocked out by Ajax. Neymar runs the ball out of play there for Tuga. He gets it back, but can't keep it in. So Joksan in the better position right now, 4-3 up in what has to be one of the games of the day so far, I'd say, in terms of the way it's swayed back and forth between the two players. Put it there, winning the ball off his opposite number. Ramos over to Marcelo. Finds Neymar, one-touch passing is nice. Here's Luka Modric getting them going. Go on, Luka. Marcelo over to Neymar. Finds Luka Modric. He's the metronome in the middle. Modric finds Mbappe. It's all the M's. It's Modric, it's Mbappe, it's Messi.
They make a difference for Tuga. Maybe Tuga should be, I don't know, Muga? That doesn't really work. I was trying to, you know, like put another M in there.
He's got Maldini and Marcelo. He's got all the M's, and it's marvellous. It's absolutely marvellous.
But once again, Modric controlled that midfield. He bursts through. He makes that pass. He's the key substitute. He's the key difference maker in terms of his offensive creativity, his offensive playmaking capabilities, and just being dynamic.
His passing as well. I mean, he's got perfect passing stats. And another thing we haven't talked about, Modric is historically the best statted player in the game in the history of FIFA, right?
And for you guys at home that are saying, wait, hold on, Spence, he's the best statistics in the whole game.
Yeah.
Why is he not starting? Basically, because Modric's about 5'8", a lot of people leave him out of the lineup for a center midfielder. They want to have Vieira, they want to have Ruud Gullit, they want to have someone that's a little more physical. And that's why you see him as a super substitute more often than as a starter.
Obviously, yeah, there's physical stats, which you can't change, and it doesn't matter how informed a player is, they're going to stay, your height, etc. However, in terms of all-round statistics, in terms of midfield, passing, attacking, defending, he's got the highest in-game stats for any player in the history of FIFA. What I love about that is not everyone's using him. Some people will not bring him on. And Tuga has found a way to play with Modric. And what I love about it as well is one of the reasons maybe some people don't use Modric is that what he's so good at in real life, mainly passing, for example, it doesn't always come through in the game. But Tuga's finding a way to make it come through. That pass he picked out to Mbappe, eye of the needle stuff. And that's what Modric is known for. Well, De Gea taking a chance there. And we are level again here, 4-all, all to play for. I'm going to say it's been the game of the day so far.
From a neutral, you really can't dislike watching this at all. You've already seen comebacks on multiple occasions. We've seen a game that you thought was going to be a blowout, and that turned around in a heartbeat. And right now, it's anyone's game. 20 minutes remaining. Remember, if we do not get a winner, we're going to extra time. If we don't get a winner extra time, we're going to penalty kicks.
And the only thing we haven't seen in this match so far is Tuga with the lead. He's always been coming from behind. That could sway things. If he can get that goal in front, I think he can hold on to it, because he's playing with a vim and a vigour that I've never seen before, Mike. Not from Tuga, at least. Joksan, very good at slowing things down, but he's not really in a position to be able to do that right now. He needs a goal before he can do that again.
And you're right, I'm thinking about this. We haven't really seen Joksan have to chase this game at any point. Not even just on the scorecard, but in terms of his pressure play. Defensively, he's been more sit back and then look to release.
Chance here, De Gea with a big save, and you have to say, since the first half of the first leg, Joksan has been outplayed. Remember, his goal in this had an element of luck to it, a big element of luck with that deflection that took it past De Gea. Tuga hasn't looked like conceding since half-time in the first leg. But Tuga almost could have conceded then as that header came back in. De Gea doing well. I mean, right now, you have to say Tuga's in the driving seat. He's playing better FIFA.
You would think that, but FIFA's a funny game. It'll keep you humble at all times. Anytime that I think I'm being amazing and I can't be beat, then somebody comes up and you're like, oh, man, it didn't go my way. I was a bit unlucky in that one. You have to stay focused at all times as well. One little mistake, and you cost yourself the matchup, you cost yourself a result in the Swiss stage, and maybe you don't come back from that.
We've seen Messi enter the field as well, off the bench for Tuga, who scored that all-important equaliser in the MasterCard moment of the match. Last time out, Ruud Gullit, cricketers once and twice, and hits it past the onlooking De Gea, who was nowhere to be found.
And you can't see it, but I'm jumping around. This is beautiful. Not one, but two. He waits for the goalkeeper to move, finishes on the near post, and now we got to see if Joksan can make something happen late. Can he be great for the first time?
He's behind in the game. And also, that was a very similar goal to Modric's goal in the first game.
Almost identical.
With a double cricketer.
Waited for the goalkeeper again. slots it home.
Put it in the same part of the net. It was just a little bit further out. But other than that, very similar goal. You've got to say, from a Joksan perspective, he's got to be annoyed to have basically conceded the exact same goal twice.
Perhaps.
He's definitely been disappointed because he's losing right now. 3 at the back here he's going to.
He's got to be more annoyed that he blew a 3-0.
Yeah.
That's still what's sitting with you. Even if you don't want to think about it, you're saying to yourself, oh, I had this game. All I had to do was not concede. And that's why I would still have that MasterCard moment as the Modric goal. That started everything. Very similar to the hole it finished there, but a couple La Croquetas made a difference, finished it off, got an assist late.
Anyone watching this that's maybe going to have to play tuga at some point needs to be aware of this double croqueta he's got in his locker, because it's very effective and it looks great. And obviously the keeper movement hurts you, because what happens is that first croqueta puts you on one side, keeper goes that way, and the second one leaves the keeper in no man's land. So it's a lovely move. I need to learn it myself.
I can give you a tutorial.
Modric has come on for Joksan, by the way. How interesting is that? Joksan's gone, this Modric bandwagon, I'm jumping on, where are we going?
I'm kind of hoping that Modric goes ahead and scores or assists for Joksan now. Let's make it a 5-all and go to extra time.
Yeah, we haven't got a lot of time left for Joksan to get into it, and it is tuga in control. And one of the most convincing displays I've seen in a while, to be honest.
And Tuga looks to increase his width a little bit. His players just look wider. And that's because he's going to be trying to swing it side to side. He's going to start to look to kill the clock. We don't ever see Van Dijk go down like that.
And what Van Dijk was doing there, maybe he lost his footing. It's not good for Joksan, though. He's going to concede a corner here.
You got to think Joksan's got at least one more attack.
Ramos on the ball. In no rush, Tuga. For the first time, he's in the lead in this game, and he hasn't got long to wait. He just needs to see it out for 2 more minutes, plus added time, and he'll get a very, very big win against arguably North America's best player at the moment, Joksan, certainly in terms of points on the leaderboards. Messi tries to switch it. Risky decision, but he gets away with it as Varane switches it in the end over to Cancelo. Cancelo being used over Ramos on right back. Marcelo takes a great touch there. This is it. This is the only chance Joksan's going to get. 45 seconds left on the clock as Modric plays it into Neymar. Neymar turns 2 men, but Varane and Ramos together combine to clear the danger. And that will be all she wrote. The whistle's going to go as Tuga takes it to the corner here and picks up a remarkable victory from a 3-0 down position. I called it, we've seen it. Istanbul has been completed by Tuga.
And we talked about the matchup that I was hoping for. I'm going to take this L, and I'll try to recover in the next.